Hey, Amy from blossoming.life.com, and today I want to show you how to make a really easy blackberry cobbler. This is so incredibly delicious, so yummy. I might have eaten like half the pan by myself, but it's so good and I had to share it with you. It's really simple to whip up. All you need is some frozen or fresh blackberries, and I have about 4 cups here. I love using frozen blackberries because they're really simple and convenient, and they're available all year round. You're going to want to put your blackberries into a pan just to get them kind of thawing a little bit, and you can use an 8x8 or you can use something slightly bigger. The baking time can just have to be a little bit adjusted. With 8x8, you'll have to bake it a little bit longer than, say, if you use like a 9x11. First, I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch, and this is going to give it a really nice, thick, almost like pie filling. It's really yummy. And then we're going to add a little bit of sugar. This is about 1/3 cup of sugar, and I'm using coconut sugar today, but you can definitely use regular sugar.
Honestly, it tastes way better with regular sugar, but I ran out, so coconut sugar will do. It just won't be quite as sweet.
All right, and then I'm just going to kind of put this to the side. Now we're going to make the yummy, almost like cake-like topping. It's so delicious. And so to just a large bowl, I'm going to add 1 cup of flour. Then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay, that was 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're just going to mix this up really good. Make sure the cinnamon's nice and incorporated. It's already starting to smell so good. Okay, then we're gonna add our 1 egg. Now I'm adding the whipping cream. It has a little bit of vinegar in it to make it into buttermilk, and that gives it just a really nice, yummy tang. Now, if you've seen in a previous video, which I'll link below, how to make buttermilk, it's the same thing here, and this time I used heavy cream. And then we're gonna add our 1/4 stick of butter. But you do want to be careful that it's not super hot when you pour it into this, so it doesn't cook the egg. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, we're going to mix it up, and it's going to turn into kind of like a really thick batter. Great, it's real good at mix. You always want to be careful whenever you're doing baked goods that you don't want to over mix your batter, because you don't want it to turn it into tough. And overmixing makes the gluten strands form, and so that's why you don't want to overmix it, especially when you're doing things like cakes and cookies and stuff like that, because you don't want them to be like super tough, chewy. All right, I think we're good. So now we're just going to take our blackberry mixture that's been thawing a little bit, and we're just going to spoon this over and dollops. It doesn't have to be pretty, that's for sure. I will tell you, the best way to serve this is with some whipped cream, or even just a little bit of that heavy whipping cream. You don't even have to whip it up. If you just pour a little bit on top, it makes it so good. Okay, so we're gonna spread it out. Just cover the blackberries. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees. And this is just gonna go in there for about 45 to 55 minutes. Just until the crust starts getting golden brown and you can see the blackberries bubbling. Sometimes it's hard to tell if a cobbler is done baking, so you can take a thermometer and stick it in there, and it should be about 200 degrees. And that's how you know it's done. But usually the crust will start to turn a little bit golden brown, and if you poke into it, it shouldn't have any, gooiness on the inside, minus the blackberries, which have a little bit of gooiness. But none of the topping should be gooey. All right, I think we're good. It already smells so good, it's not even baking yet. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this into the oven for about 45 to 55 minutes. So just to note that if you are gluten-free, you can use a gluten-free 1-to-1 flour in place of the regular flour, and it tastes delicious. And people probably won't even know that it's gluten-free. All right, so I just pulled it out of the oven. and it is nice and golden brown. And then I let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to let it cool and let the sauce thicken up. So a couple things you can do with this right before you serve it is sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar. This just adds an extra little deliciousness to it. Totally optional, but still very delicious. So I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of sugar. It also just makes it look really pretty. Also, you can put a little bit of heavy whipping cream or whipped cream on top, and you can just do it in the bowl or even on this, and it is just so delicious. So I'm gonna spoon it up. Does that not look so good? And then we'll get a little bit extra of that blackberry syrup at the bottom. This smells and looks amazing. Now I'm gonna add my favorite thing on top, which is a little bit of heavy whipping cream. It's just really delicious, warm comfort food, perfect for fall, perfect for the holidays. Thank you so much for stopping by A Blossoming Life YouTube channel. I share DIY projects, simple recipes, and natural living products and tips. I really hope you enjoy this simple and easy blackberry cobbler recipe. That cream really adds to it, I'm telling you. It's so good.
You can head over to the blog in the link below to grab the printable recipe.